everyone. Welcome home. Sorry I haven't posted in the past couple days. I've been very busy with work. So this is my Houghton Sons Banjolin, or mandolin banjo. This one seems to be, based on my research, from around the 40s or so, but I'd like to know a little bit more information on that, as the world was a bit busy in the early 40s. So this particular instrument was actually in shockingly good shape when I received it. So I was very excited about it. Really, the only damage was this here, and the bridge was not in good shape. So I just carved a new bridge there. I started with a maple bridge with an ebony cap, and I actually sanded that down, and I used a metal fret there as the metal cap. These instruments traditionally have a metal cap on the bridge, and that's what gives it that real sweet brightness. You know, you really get a lot more resonance out of it, and it's just nice and bright, but there's a specific sweetness to the voice because of that as well. Now on banjo instruments, and especially smaller bodied instruments, you generally get much less sustain, but the metal cap does help with the sustain, but then on the other end of that, to balance it out, it is a bit heavy, and so it does affect the sustain as the more mass you have on this top resonating surface, especially since it's a small resonating surface. Generally that all balances out in a very interesting way that I don't hear on other instruments. Some other work I had to do on it was, when I first got this, the nut height on the slots was absurdly high. The instrument was totally unplayable, so I don't know what the deal was. You can see how far I had to carve down on that. I'm not sure if you can see that alright, but I had to do significant work on the nut to lower the action and get it playable. But it's certainly very playable. It's very comfortable to play. Getting those, if you get the tremolo just right, it's just so sweet. It's really fantastic. Even came with this fine case here. Very nice. So this is an instrument that it has a surprisingly sweet voice that I wasn't really expecting. I'll be using it for work in my compositions. I'm now starting my soundtrack where I'm composing and recording banjo orchestra, so I've been collecting and creating banjos. I've been creating custom banjos so I can do this full soundtrack. I'll be starting that this week. So this is an instrument that you generally only hear sort of faster paced music. It's ideal for old-time folksy music. You generally see it played a bit faster, but it's so strident that I feel that strumming with this instrument isn't necessarily taking advantage of the instrument's strength, so I prefer to use it in a lower tempo, more expressive style of music. And I think it really matches that Appalachian sound. It's got such a fantastic, interesting voice that I think for slower expressive music, for folk, old-timey music, it's so ideal for that. So that's the kind of music that I'll be using this with, and I'll just strum and play a little bit more now. I brought this once. I brought this to a pub session for my Irish music club, and it was interesting. You could actually hear it. It actually had enough projection and presence to where you can hear it in a pub session environment. So I was pretty surprised by that. And I'm not necessarily bashing out on this thing. So it does blend well with other instruments as well. But again, because of that smaller pot size, the smaller diameter, it has a very strident sound. It's actually a shorter scale length than a typical standard mandolin. It's like half an inch shorter or something like that, close to or 3/4 of an inch shorter. So I hope you had some fun listening to that. I hope you've enjoyed hearing that. If you want to hear more, go ahead and let me know. Just go ahead and comment and let me know if you'd like to hear more of this. But I think I'll share some of my work. I'll be working on the soundtrack, and I think maybe I'll share some of the music that I compose and record for my work. So thanks very much for watching, everyone. It's been great to be able to share music with all of you. So you come home again soon, and I'll leave the porch light on.